What's up, YouTube fam? It's Dark Angel's Journey, and I'm Shakira. So, I wanted to do two things, right? One, unpack my silliness from last night because I took a trade. Actually, I had a pretty beautiful setup, and I told myself that I'd wait for this confirmation and do all this stuff that you're supposed to do. And my impatience won. And that is something that I'm gonna need to like stamp out because had I done exactly what I thought, then this would have been fine. So let me show you what's up, okay? But first things first. So let me show you what's up and then I'll show you what I did and then I want to go through some prep for today's potential trading, right? And I'll show you where I am on that 30 trade challenge to see how I'm going to do, see if I'm ready to start putting real money behind all these trades. All right, so check it out. So ETH yesterday was forming this falling wedge, and actually it's actually a flat bottom. I don't know why I drew it like this over here. It's like this, approximately, right? And it had this flat bottom with this, you know, target, which would have put us into the imbalance that's down here. Now, um, actually, I really messed that up when I did this yesterday. Yeah, because I had this instead. Sorry guys, I'm tripping. I had this instead. So basically what I was looking at, and this is all subjective really. But yeah, this is what I was looking at, right? So for my setup, I'm sorry, I got confused there for a hot second. I apologize. It's like 6:15 in the AMs in the US and or Eastern Standard, and we had daylight savings time. And man, I'm like, why can't I go back to sleep? It's only 5:30. So I've been up for like an hour and change. Well, a little less. But anyway, so falling wedge, this, it's making higher lows on the 15. So actually, my original thought process was that it was going to break upward, right? That's what I thought. Now, one of the things that I like to use, or I'm learning to use as a test, is the candle that breaks out of the wedge, like closes out of the wedge, right? And I learned this from a different trader. Basically draw a box from that one and then wait for price to pull back into that space. And if it doesn't break above it, right? So I set this as the area for retest and confirmation. So if it doesn't break above it, right, then most likely the it's going to continue downward, right? But if it does break above it, then my original assumptions are correct, right? So this invalidated this, right? So that means this is actually from this area here, which, oh my God, is actually so bad. Oh. Technical analysis really does work, but what I was doing last night, and I was awake for this, I was awake for this, and I did something stupid. I don't know what I was thinking. I just had a moment of silliness, and I took a long. And I was like, literally staring at the fact that it had, and I think a lot of my problem at this point is the fact that there's too many things drawn on here and I can't see because we're in this big natural supply area. I don't know. No excuses. I messed up. I messed up like it was going out of style. Simple. Anyway, and I paid. I got stopped up. But anyway, so you see what happened, right? I'd set this out as this, retest, continuation downwards if that's what was going to happen. So that's exactly what happened. And what did I do? Not the right thing. Not the right thing. I saw this green candle. Um, no, I saw this green candle. No, that's not right. Let me see. Let me look at my entry. It was at 9:07. I don't know what the hell I was looking at 9:07. It's 10, 7:45, 8, 8:40, 8:30. You know what? I think this has moved back an hour. Has it really? Oh no, I'm missing that move. Whatever. Anyway, so saw this green candle. I was like, oh no, it's going in all the directions. I opened along like an idiot, right? And I did it with spread. I did it with a market order, and that spread was awful. Can I just say awful? And I've decided that I'm no longer going to be using that. Oh man, my supply area is working like a charm. Look at it. Boom. Gotta look for prepping for entries, and I haven't even had a chance to prep, and the market's dumping already. Anyway, so what I should have done, since I saw that this thing was wicking, I could have taken a short instead. And I should have taken a short from this area because the moment it broke, came up here, retested it, wicked out a second time, wicked out a third time, that next red candle, once on this down, that was holding up this downward trend is where I should have entered for a short. So I should have been here at 1630, and then I would have taken my profits, at the next area of confluence, which would have been like right about here, right? Anyway, so because of that, I am on trade 16 and I am in the negative $5.02. Ooh. Anyway, so it looks like this busted out with a little bust. That's dumping. Fun. All right, so that's no fun. What's Bitcoin doing? Okay. That's on the 4 hour. Sorry, guys. Let's do it. All right, so Bitcoin's basically just made a higher low. And yes, so when we have this SR area, it might be rolling back down. Honestly, if it busts past this and makes a change in the price structure, then, we might be cooking with Crisco. But let's see what ETH is doing for the moment. So let's all right, so now that I've shared my ever loving shame, and, hang on, look at my notes, right? And that's why you have to go back and read everything that you put in. You gotta actually oh, sorry. I was going for that, but obviously that didn't work. Anyway, so you see my notes here, right? There was a strong wedge breakout, retest. It was in the SR area, which is nice, but I did not wait for confirmation. Enemy did not wait. And then of course I put things in bold, right? I did not wait for confirmation. I entered in a wrong direction. Also misjudged the falling wedge with the flat bottom. I actually had a flat bottom on here, which is kind of crazy. Another thing I need to not do, have separate chart patterns set up between TradingView and Big Edge. So what bothers me is I having to do the analysis elsewhere and then open the trade in a different place, it always makes me sort of hesitate, and that's a problem. And that's another thing I'm trying to work through. This might be a long one, guys. I don't know if it's going to be super long, but look at that beautiful dump from this support area that got formed from yesterday's dump, right? Look, they made like a double bottom. It's a W. They just keep repeating it. Look, it's just a little W. Boom, boom. That one's higher up. Come back down. What they're not doing is breaking past this area. So let's do some analysis for potential trades for today. And I do have a little alert here to see if they do bust past it. All right, so let's get rid of everything that we were working on. There's this giant natural supply area from a rally-based drop that happened a while back. So let's roll back out. So because I know I don't like to sit too long into trades, I'm going to again do my normal analysis. Actually, let's clean this up. Well, let's do our normal analysis, right? So what are we looking at for the moment, right? Technically, if I'm gonna be, thinking this through, it's still an uptrend, right? Technically. And let's change the color of that because this is in a smaller time frame, so I like to make it orange. And let's just make sure we have enough confirmations for this, because we did make a higher low here, right? What we haven't done is made a real higher high. So let's also spec out this gorgeous swing failure here, right? And I spec'd out this liquidity hunt, and I was like waiting for them to do something to pop back up, and didn't take that trade either. Another thing that I'm working through, like how do I make sure I get in on these things? Like the psychology of this stuff is insane. I keep flip-flopping between do I like the higher time frame trades because it is a lot clearer, right? The candlesticks, they're a lot clearer. Like you're up on this trend, you see this break, giant green candle in the 4 hour, enter here. Beautiful. Ride it up to this next level. This strong daily trend. Yay. Or, I don't know, break, retest, big, strong green candle. Enter here. Continue on up. I mean, I like it, but it doesn't always work, right? Strong red candle. Enter here for a short. Technically, it did work. I mean, what? You would have actually you would not have been shook out because I would have put my stop loss here and that week didn't make it up there. But yeah, so I keep flip-flopping. I don't like the concept of sitting in a trade for days on end, you know. I understand that if I do like the hourly or the 15, I might be sitting in the trade for like 18 hours or so. That's nerve-wracking and something that's so hard to deal with. But look at what's happening up here. And let's do a little cleanup. We don't need any of this stuff right now. Okay, so there's this supply area from here. They've come into it um, from this nice juicy break. We had this nice juicy break. Here's an order block. They just said, hell no. Not all of them work, right? Not all of them work. But we do have this juicy break here. So let me just prep this from the 4 hour, just so I know it's there with a nice imbalance sitting in the same place. The dragon fruit. Actually, sorry, it's the demand area. The dragon fruit. And we have this thing up here. Okay, so what are we forming here? Is this like a double top or something? I don't know that I'm gonna fall into using these chart patterns because they're really just price action, right? In all honesty. All right, so technically it's an uptrend on the 4 hour, so there's that. And sort of just stuck in this area and they don't want to pass it. All right. They're also stuck in this area here and they don't want to pass that either, this natural area. So in that case, like I think depending on if this thing holds, which it has, boom, boom, like a couple of times, this could be like the demand area it's coming down to, and this supply area up here, I might adjust for the swing failure up here because actually let's do it on the 1 hour because I don't want to get too far away from where price is doing what it's doing. All right, so they've already eaten this liquidity. Let's clear that out. I'll leave the swing failure right here. It has not closed above it. And we're still swing failing right there. So, something has to pop in. There's a lot more of this imbalance to be eaten up top. Okay, so let's continue on with our prep. Okay, we have this juicy imbalance that there didn't quite come down to yesterday. There's another one down here closer to this guy, and let me pull this over because I have a bad habit of not being able to see what the hell I'm into. So we're in this natural space, another supply zone. What else? So I haven't really been able to make a higher high, but we've made a higher low. So is there, and since this is already played out, let's get rid of that. Clean this out. Right. Delete that. Okay. All right, so let's zoom in. So far, technically, I mean, last night's price action didn't go anywhere. It's just been wicking inside of the supply area. It hasn't busted really out of it, done anything exciting, at least not since, Sunday started. All right. So, based on all of this, there's a supply area for this rally, base rally right here. But they've been holding this zone pretty well. How long have they been holding it for? And then we'll do a similar test on, and then I can set my alarms and then go do something else. They've been holding this zone for like a day and 18 hours. So maybe they're waiting for Monday to really do something. So what they have done, at least on the 1 hour, is made a lower high. And I don't think that shows up on the 4 hour, right? Because yeah. So it's just a higher low with this lower high. I don't know. They can obviously bust past this and do some stuff. All right. So are we forming any kind of useful pattern? I think this supply area has been used up. And they were hovering around the opening price for a bit. So that's already broken out. So I don't care about that. All right. So let's go down to the 15-minute. Oh, and did I specify what the heck so we had an uptrend on the 4 hour, and technically on the 1 hour, it's still an uptrend because we're up here, but it's kind of sideways, boring action. So what I'm going to do is, because it is sideways, boring action, I'm going to put this giant box around it because this is the zone they've been keeping themselves into. And let's just adjust the colors around it. And let's make that a little lighter. Yeah. And let's just put a quick note here. So let's call this sideways. So they've just been wicking up and down between these two. So if they're going to be holding that, and they've been holding it, hey, if they break down, then great. They've been holding it. That means that there's a potential, let's see, SR area potentially here. Let's test that out. Do we have confirmation? So a couple areas here. Price definitely bopped down from here. Move back up. Move back up. Yep. Cool. So we have an SR resistance area here. Okay. So they're busting into that space right now. And then that means there's also another one up here to play with. And that's going to basically be my like gameplay area. And let's also plop that there. And let's test this out to see. Oh, looky. Busted down. So they've been, so anything else to left of that. Probably could make this a little wider, but to encompass a little more. But this is going to be my play area right here, I think. But look, hey, strong red candle. Let's see if they do anything juicy with it. All right, so if they made a lower high and they break below this and make a lower low, okay, all right. They need to close a candle below this for me to believe that they're doing anything juicy. All right, so let's see, this 15-minute candle that's forming, 12 more minutes. Try and work on, today I'm going to try and trade and work on my patience. All right, that's what I'm going to do. Let me reduce the opacity on this area because I don't really want to see it being all up in the way. So what do we have on the 15-minute to play with? Okay. So they're busting down. On the 15-minute, of course, it's sideways action, right? But if we're going to use this as our gameplay area between here and here, if I'm going to be paying attention to the whole expensive premium and discount zone concept, right? Then because they're entering into this area, I would be looking to pop back up. Again, they need to bust past this whole thing to they need to bust past it. Let me just draw that down right there. Sorry about this. Hold on. My sideways action. Let me adjust that down. Sorry. There's this. They haven't. They need to close candles below this wick and this area. They have not. Started about there. They have not closed a single candle below this area. So until they do that, then I'll believe that they're adjusting things. But in the meantime, what did we have to play with? Oh, look, there's this juicy break right here. And they came back. And I'm gonna, since I know we're in this natural supply area, I'm just gonna delete that just to make it a little cleaner. So let's wait for this 15-minute candle to close. And yeah, this one's gonna be a bit long because I'm just doing pure analysis and prepping. So what did they do? They broke down, they came right back up into this area right here. Beautiful supply area. And nice, beautiful candle, they wicked above it, and then they made a nice bullish engulfing in this space. Honestly, I would have waited once they came in here if I was going to stay on the 15-minute for the entry. Once I saw this push down area here, I'm like, and zoom in. You know what? My eyes are deceiving me. That looked like a doji for a hot second. Let's put my glasses on. Okay. So once they made this bullish engulfing in the supply area and we were wicking down, then I would have entered here if I had had the opportunity to do so. And I'm looking at a 1 to 2. So would that have played out nicely? Why, yes, it would have. Now, I noticed that I had this thing sorted out wrong. I want to adjust my account size to 100 USDT and profit. I want 1% risk and I want a 1 to 2, right? So a 1% risk, if I'm going to, so this would have been a 0.45% risk. So then I could have set my stop loss up here. 1% being 1% of my entire area, my entire count. I'm not going to do that though, but I want this to be set so that I know what that looks like and where that would be, right? So then I probably would have put it up here at 0.70%. And then, let's see, would that have worked for a 1 to 2? Yeah, so since that wasn't the case, my original thought about putting it here would also have worked. And then I would have wanted that 1 to 2 right about there. And that would have worked nicely. But we didn't catch that. So this on the 15-minute is also a swing failure. But they now have all of this liquidity to hunt on the way back. So now I am aware of that. I am expecting, and let's just do that. I really do need to change this because I want it to look like that. And it doesn't have to be so thick. Okay, so now we saw previously that they did this before. So they have all this liquidity to hunt. They've basically made, yeah, see that? Coming right back up. Don't trust them. All right. So now what I'm waiting for is my actual entry potential is here because this is a good break, good juicy area. It's right at the SR area. And this is a nice demand area right here. There are imbalances around it. And that makes it even stronger. Here's this breaker block right on top of that. Let's plop that in there as well. So what I'm looking for is an entry in the opposite direction. because nothing closed above. So we're still looking at the swing failure here. So maybe they will continue down lower, but they haven't made a lower low to convince me. And yeah. So let me draw my Phoebe for this right here, all the way up to that swing high area here. All right. So my optimal trade entry area is right. Hey, it is smack in my general vicinity of this breaker block, of my demand order block, if there's that imbalance. So what that means is I am going to be looking in the lower time frame, say the 2 to 3 minutes, for a nice break, back up for further confirmation, and then I'll be looking for a long from about here up to 0.27 with a something about, let's put it below the 1, about there, because they've already wicked down to eat up all this liquidity right here, so most likely they're not going to do it again. But guess what? Price can do whatever the hell it wants. But look, every time they do that, they've eaten it up, and then they've moved on to the next area. So we're just bouncing between these two areas. 4 minutes, 42 left on that 50-minute candle. Okay, so that's what I'm looking for. Let's head over to Bitcoin and see what it's doing. All right. Well, let me take that off. Oh, and you know what? One other thing. I do like to kind of see where the 50 moving average is on this. So, okay, looks like price just went above it. 200, sorry, on the 1 hour. I don't care what it's doing on the 15-minute. Okay, so the 200 is still below, the 50 is above. So it might end up being a problem because it looks like it was holding the price here and then dropped. Anyway, so I just want to see where it is. So that might take some account. My first take profit will probably be in this supply area up here. All right, moving on to Bitcoin. Let's see, we're 27 minutes in. This thing takes time, prepping and re-prepping. So let's head out to the 4 hour. All right. So on the 4 hour, are we also in an uptrend? Let us see. This is all subjective, the way these things get drawn, right? So let's change the color of that to orange. Do like those to be thick, and I like it to be solid. Okay, so I might adjust where this thing starts so I can have more touches. There. Okay. And okay. All right, price has not closed below this area. Lots of little touches here. Can probably get some more, but that's okay. So price has actually was holding its own in this zone for quite a bit between these two areas here. Now, that means that we have an actual higher high, like a proper one from this nice juicy break. So, what I want to see is if I needed to make another higher low here for an entry. So what am I looking for? This is on the 4 hour. So I'm looking for something like this, come back down to retest this area, and then come back up here, and then so on and so forth. Something like that. So I'm looking for. So they can go ahead and pop up and eat that imbalance, right? Oh. So let me look to the left. Right? So what's my, if they busted above here, so what's my next SR area of fun to play between? So something like this looks like potentially. Let's make sure we have some confirmations there. And let's adjust that. SR area. So price bounced off, bounce, 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 bounce. Oopsie, Control Z. All right. And okay, so since price has made this higher high, I am going to wait for Bitcoin to show me the money, right? So the potential plan could be if it chooses, and let's go into the 1 hour, because we are technically on an uptrend. Cool, cool, cool. So if it chooses to come back down to retest this area, because this is approximately around where it stopped last, right? It might bust through, wick out, touch this, pop back up. If it does that, it invalidates this higher high because it's going to make a lower low, and we might bust back down into this area. So, for now, what are my options? We have some juicy action to play with. There's this imbalance above, which is nice. There's this area where price is kind of like hung out, and then we have this SR area above here. So lots to play with. I am going to do this. I'm going to make a higher low. I need it to bust past this, like so, retest, and continue up. That's why I have this alert here to see if it's going to pop up. In the meantime, if it makes, looks like we had, let's go into 15-minute for this one real quick. Do love a good plot thickens. Okay. And I find that the lower time frames do tend to confuse me. I'm sorry. Has that 15-minute candle closed? It has. And now we're on to a new 15-minute candle on Ethereum. So let's pop back in here. Okay. So far we're in this demand area, and they couldn't close a candle again below this area that they've been playing inside of. So I think it's all manipulation BS. They ate all this liquidity right here. And look at that. Look at that despicable equal lows area. Pure stop hunt activity right here. And I'm in that just beautiful and disgusting all at once. So we have this equal low stop hunt area here. They rolled into it, did it again. It came to eat all the liquidity that had formed on this uptrend, ate all of it up. So now I'm looking for a reversal. All right, so we're in this demand area. Let's go down to the 2-minute and see if we can't find an entry. So, okay. So what are we seeing on the 2-minute in here? So I'm looking for a nice juicy break, and then I need to retest and then come back up. Failing that, since we're in this area, we're definitely turning around. 1, 2, 3 green candle. That's a beautiful continuation turn, right? Potentially. But I would prefer to see a break form, come back down, whatever. So, and I could also be missing this move too, because three strong candles on 2 minutes coming back up. They're eating this space right here. So I'm gonna wait. There's like 29 seconds left on this 2-minute candle. Let me get up on this action on, okay, and I am doing a limit order. You can bite me. No longer doing anything. So I want 0.42, which is what I like trading. Okay, that's good. And okay, so let's see. All right, so we do have a nice juicy green candle here, 16. So since it kind of hung out for a bit, I am going to set, and there are imbalances down here. I actually would prefer my entry. Oh, hang on, sorry, can't quite see. Let's go back to 15 for a hot second. Can't quite see my Fibby. So the optimal trade entry is at 17.56. Okay. And actually it's in between. So it should be like somewhere in the middle, right? 16, 16, 19, yeah, 16, 19, 30. Okay. So I'm gonna say, let's look for an entry from 16, 19, 30, and let's buy long. And, oh, take that off. And let's use the tooly tool here. Sometimes I feel rushed when these things happen. And, okay, put this under there. And I want my take profit to be a 1 to 2. So it'd be right around, let's see, right around there. That's okay, right. So let's wait for confirmation. Something I didn't do yesterday. Did not wait for confirmation. And we might want to wait until the 50 is price is above the 52 on the 2 minutes. So I'm waiting for a break. So, man, this part's interesting. Also, if I'd seen some sort of morning star um, in here too, I could have taken that as an entry as well. But I'm looking for something similar like this, a break, bust above, and then, retrace or something, come back up. But these 3 green candles do make me feel relatively comfortable for an entry. Okay. So they've eaten that imbalance, coiling up. And, they might just go up. See, that's that patience thing, right? See what the 5 minute looks like. They wicked up, they wicked down. And I could just miss the move because I'm being ridiculous. And I said I wanted an entry at 16, 18, 47. So, I mean, I get it. Let's set that back, 16, 18, 47. And let's buy long. So it might be a lot, it might be too late. Who knows? Is it gonna wick down, wick up? So that's where I want to enter right there. And if I'm wrong, I expect that 16, 12 will be where I get stopped out. So let's see. I might be wrong. But I'm not in it yet, so it is in my optimal trade entry, and they did wick out, so. And there's the other option to come on. And now I just have to wait for this candle. So I might be too greedy now, wanting to enter at this perfect price. But best to let these candles close. Let's see what the 5 minute candle. Oh, look at that doji right there. It's beautiful. Dang it. You guys, what's ETH doing? Oh, I am on ETH. Haha. What's Bitcoin doing? Okay. We turned around on the 15. I'm waiting for the 1 hour. Oh, look at that beautiful wick. Now, if that's not telling you that we're going up, I don't know what is. Look at that. Mean. How many? 7 minutes left on that 1 hour? Yeah, I'm not doing anything with that. All right. Might have missed the boat on this one. I hate market orders. Looks like there's a number of orders at 16, 18, 48. Pretty big order, pretty big order, pretty big order. There's some bigger orders at 1621 too. So just gotta wait for the candle to close and um, and be be patient. If I've missed it, I've missed it. I'll wait for the next option. Okay, so while that's figuring out what it wants to do, let's see. So high or low, 3 green candles, reversal options right there. Okay, what just happened? Okay, so we had this. It's not the best break, but it did continue up. So demand area here. And they came and tapped it like it was going out of style. Yep. Yep. All right, so let me drop my Fibby. Okay, so optimal entry was in here, but they wicked down and rolled back up. Let me see. What else do we have in this space? And the ETH trade, I'm pretty sure about because it had all these beautiful confluences attached to it. What I don't know is, I'm waiting for a break, you know, to happen, and it might not. It might not. So we'll see. If I don't get what I want and it doesn't come back to the price I want, then probably not going to do anything. So, the 2 minutes. Okay, so we're making a lower high. Okay. On the Fibby. Oh man, I'm cold. Anyway, where are we? 41 minutes on this one? It's gonna be a long one, guys. I'm gonna be able to make some sort of decision. I'm gonna be patient. And if I miss it, I miss it. And then I just keep it moving. But this doji right here after that wick down, definitely a good sign, right? So definitely could have entered right here, which is what I wanted, and I might have missed it. So I'd rather not get an unfavorable entry up. If it's going to go up, retrace, go up, then I'll play within that zone. But if it's not going to do that, then it can bite me. All right, so Bitcoin needs to, if it's going to go up, it needs to show me a higher high for me to enter into anything. So what I'm looking for is it has to bust above here, make a higher high, retest this area, and then continue on up. I think I already said something like that previously, but that's on the 1 hour. I think this is on the 15. So that's what I'm looking for. It hasn't gone anywhere. And, I just got to be patient on this ETH trade. I need to see some confirmation. I do have a limit order set up. And let's see. We're losing some steam here. Or not. Maybe. Oh, the sun has come out. How fun. All right, guys. This one's really long. What I'm going to do is I'll drop a post in the community post and let you know how this played out. The other thing that I'm going to do is, I might reevaluate my entry once this is above the 50, potentially. But it's still below the 50 on the 15, below the 200 on the 15, below the 50 on the 1 hour. So I might need to wait for it to bust above it for a proper long entry. But for a quick squeeze, because they're playing in this area, I would like my optimal entry area to be hit. If it doesn't get hit, then I don't get in here. Simple. And they wicked down, made this equal lows. But they did make a higher low here. I'm sorry, a lower high here on the 1 hour. So it might be that they're prepping to, take price lower and eat this imbalance. I don't know. 200's down here for them to do it. Oh, price is turning around a little bit. Hmm. I need to set my stop loss so I don't get burnt, because if it busts below this area, then I think I'm wrong. So that's not the wick, but the body. 1612. All right, so let's do a stop. My order has not been filled yet. Let's see. Let's do a, oops. Oh, I guess because the order hasn't been filled yet, I can't do it. Well, I should have done it in the meantime. 1651. Hmm. All right, guys, let's hang out until this is opened, and then we'll see what happens. Okay, looks like they're fighting. There are some nice orders down here. We're in my general vicinity. Let's look at the, what is this? The 2 minutes on, oops, the 2 minute on ETH. So just that. Okay, so there's also this liquidity they could eat down here as well. So I'll set my, if I'm gonna be even more hawkish about this, then I could be wanting it to, I still haven't waited for a break yet though. Oh, hello, they hit my price. Okay, so now that I'm in it, let's see. So I have this position, all right. I would like to set a stop loss and take profit based off of, so let's adjust that and just do 1612. That's 2%. I can stand that. Right. All right. And let's let that play out. And technically, where am I? Is that, oh, 1 to 4. If I'm going to be a 1 to 2 person, that would put me about here, which is smack dab in an area where they've stopped before. So that's what, 1630, 92? Yep. Okay. And let's set take profit. 1630, 92. And that's 3%. Ew, that's no fun. Hold on. 1 to 2 sucks. That can't be right. If that's my stop loss, let me just dip here to the left. Because I might be more, actually, sorry, let's go into the higher time frame for a better look at where they've stopped before. So they like this little spot right here. Looks like, what's that? 1632.60. Okay. Right. So I'll let this play out and see what's up. All right. So it's a big fight going on right here. And per my, I should be waiting on that break, but I didn't wait. I just, decided on the optimal trade entry and just let it ride. Okay. So let's go back to the 15-minute here. We're 49 minutes in. So my actual take profit, if I'm going to go with this, is 1646.46. They haven't been back up there in a minute, so maybe I'll go for 16, the 0.2. 1633.76. Okay, so let's set that as the take profit. 1633 was that 76? Let's just double check here. Yep. Okay. And then let's just let that play out. Now, gotta do that drawdown and negative stuff, and I could be wrong. That would be a 2% loss for me, because I'm not willing to go any lower than here. Man. Now, I did do that thing I should have done, which was wait. So, go back into 2 minutes, makes a higher low, better entry, and let's let that play out. If it busts above that, it'd be a nice break and retest for an entry and then continue on. But on the 2 minute, I might have been like, boom, boom, 3 nice green candles, entered here at 16.17, and been perfectly fine with that. Alrighty, but we're in it, and let's let that play out. And last check on BTC, what are you doing? Nothing, so I'm not gonna bother with you. And let's let that do its thing and go from there. All right, guys, I am going to call it a day. Not a day, but a video. 51 minutes of reviewing what I've done, my trade setup thoughts for the day. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. And maybe let me know what you think I'm doing wrong, because still learning. All right, guys, happy hunting. Trade safely. Bye-bye. Oh, that's not right. Shakira, out.